Today we are traveling to the island of Brač on a public ferry from Makarska to Port Sumartin. Then we are going to walk to the town of Bol. This September 28th, around 8:45 a.m. and we are on the ferry leaving Makarska. Here we go into the cabin. And we are off right on time. The ferry ride should be less than an hour. We are getting close to the ferry's final destination, the small village and a port of Sumartin. You can see the backdrop. This is actually mainland. It's the mountains over Makarska. The island has some mountains too. The highest a little bit more than 700 meters, but Makarska is more like 1.5 kilometers high mountains. The Brač Island is actually the largest and the highest Dalmatian island. The ferry is unloading. Unfortunately, we didn't explore little village of Sumartin as we had a long walk ahead of us. The island has public buses between towns, but due to the off-season they run on a limited schedule. It wouldn't be a problem if there was a direct bus, but to get from Sumartin to Bol, we had to switch buses at another town. So walking was actually faster. Our trail turned inland and I started climbing a little bit. But look at these mountains. And you can make it out a little of Makarka all the way across the water. Beautiful. The island is named after the Illyrian word for deer, as deers used to live on the island. Their bones were found in the Carpatchina cave, along with the primitive tools dating back to the early Bronze Age. 10:30 a.m. We made some progress. Besides the Carpatchina cave, the oldest place on the island, the village of Shkript, is about 10 kilometers inland. We follow this sign. Actually, a bicycle. Yes. The village of Shkript contains evidence of more than 3,000 years of human activities. We stopped for quick lunch break. We were glad that we packed some food with us. It is 1:15 a.m. and we just follow some trails and gravel roads until we came into the asphalt road. The scenery is not that impressive. Looks like a lot of bush territory. Just walking around in a bush. 1:40 p.m. and terrain changed from bushes to more rocky. There is a clear sky over there. At some point there was a possibility of thunderstorm, but it blew over and we still have some clouds, but I can see blue sky. The first known inhabitants of the island were Illyrians, neighbors to the ancient Greeks to the north. They had strong navy and constantly fought against the expansion of ancient Greeks and later Romans. In the 3rd century, they built fortified walls in the village of Shkrip. Due to the island's important strategic position in the Adriatic Sea, Brač was also a target to the Byzantine, Venetian, Turkish and Hungarian invaders, and even Amish pirates. Regardless of the invaders, the head of the local noble family, usually titled as prince, always presided over the island's management. In the 7th century, the settlement of Shkrip was the place of refuge for the people of Salona when their city was attacked in the invasion of the Slavs. It is 2:50 p.m. We are on the trail, just a little bit longer, and we're gonna be at the town ball where we staying. Glagolitic monks came to Brač Island in the 15th century while fleeing the mainland in front of the Turkish army. They settled in a place surrounded by steep cliffs and lived first in a cave until they secured permission to build their own monastery. This cave is called the Dragon's Cave, after a dragon Glagolitic monks carved on its interior. The cave has some more carvings and drawings as well as a small chapel. And after building their monastery, the monks made their living by producing and selling wine. Today, the Blaka Monastery is no longer active, but hosts a museum about its history. We're about 30 minutes away. It is 3:40 p.m. We're getting closer to the town. The name Paul comes from the Latin word that means fort. It is the only inhabited place on the south side of the island. This is the town Paul. On the very edge of the town sits beautiful Dominican monastery founded in 1475. It is still active today and can be visited during public hours. We entered the town. Just a little bit of view of the rooftops. We made it in time for dinner and much deserved rest. It is September 29th, around 9:25 am, and we're at the beach promenade. This promenade connects the town of Paul to one of its main attractions, the Golden Horn Beach. And we are going to visit it later in the day when it is warmer. But first, let's take a peek at the town center and enjoy this promenade. The promenade is built from a high-quality white limestone that resembles marble. Does it remind you of anything we have visited on our journey in Croatia? Okay, here is the clue. Have you guessed it yet? Yes, it is Diocletian Palace in Split. The island of Brač was very important to the great emperor of the Roman Empire, Diocletian. He used stone from this very island to build his retirement fortress in Split, now known as Diocletian Palace. From early times, the island stone was used in construction of churches. Here is one. And this is an old well for water. Now it's locked. The stone was used in construction of palaces of local nobles and even exported all over the world. For example, the island stone was used to decorate the parliament buildings in Vienna and Budapest, the Spear Palace in Italy, and even the columns at the front of the White House in Washington, D.C. The island has a highly recognized stonemason school that is open to visitors during the summer. And souvenirs carved out of the local stone, like these clocks, are sold to visitors on the promenade. It is 2 p.m. And now is the warmest time it can get today, so we are going to the beach. And we are very excited because the Golden Horn Beach is listed as one of the top beaches in Europe. The beach has a triangular shape with a prominent peak in the sea. Depending on the tide, sea currents, and wind, the peak shifts left or right, changing the beach shape. And here is my picture of the beach. It is partially clouded at the moment, as the weather is still under the influence of the rainy front we had in Makarska. The beach material is pebbles, so the protective footwear would be nice to have. Igor is trying to brave it barefoot. Unfortunately, we didn't make it to the tip as it looked too far for barefoot walking. Also, the wind is always blowing on that side of the horn. Surprisingly, the beach was crowded for off-season. The water was clear but cold due to the strong current. We dipped our toes in anyway. It is September 30th, and it is our last day on Brach, as we have to catch a ferry to the island of Hvar at 5 p.m. With not enough time to hike Brach, highest mountain, and no car to visit the island's many villages, we were stuck to exploring the town of Bol. Cloudy sky, strong wind, and raining at times put the visit to a beach out of the question. In the 17th century, Brach was famous for shipbuilding. The current prince at that time built a castle in Bol to protect the area from pirates. He also built its own shipyard, making Bol the third naval force of Croatian side of the Adriatic. Here we go, another church, just like the one we saw on the ridges while hiking. Let's see if we can look inside. This is the Church of Saint Anthony, built in the early 16th century. And it was time for us to leave. Honestly, we didn't actually explore much of the island. I wish we had at least a week and a car or motorcycles. But someday we are coming back more prepared.